Prince Adam stood on the highest balcony of the royal palace, watching the golden sun rise over Eternia. To the people below, he was only a careless prince, more interested in adventures than responsibility. They did not know the truth. They did not know that behind his calm smile lived a power strong enough to protect an entire world. Adam was the guardian of a secret older than the kingdom itself, a secret hidden within the ancient walls of Castle Grayskull. Inside that castle rested a force that could change destiny. Adam was its chosen defender. When danger threatened Eternia, he would raise his sword, speak the sacred words, and become something more than human. But for now he remained only Adam, waiting, watching, and guarding the silence of the morning. At his side stood Cringer, a large green tiger with shaking legs and wide, fearful eyes. Cringer was loyal, but courage was not his strength. The smallest sound made him jump. Even his own shadow frightened him. Still, he followed Adam everywhere, trusting him completely. Adam smiled and gently placed a hand on Cringer's head, knowing that bravery came in many forms. Far away from the balcony, deep inside the palace workshop, another figure was busy creating trouble without realizing it. Orco floated between shelves filled with glowing bottles and strange tools. He loved magic, but his spells rarely worked the way he planned. Today, however, he believed he had a brilliant idea. He wanted to build something impressive, something that would finally make everyone proud of him. On the central table lay a half-finished device, thin metal arms stretching outward like claws. Orco called it a capture beam. In his mind it was harmless, even helpful. Fire it once and the rays would grab anything in front of it. Orco laughed to himself, imagining how amazed everyone would be when they saw it working. The doors opened and Man-at-Arms stepped inside. His sharp eyes moved instantly to the device. Years of experience told him danger was near. He walked closer, examining the glowing core and the unmarked containers around it. His voice became firm and serious. "This is not a toy, Orco," he said. "Some of these materials are unstable. You must not touch anything here unless you understand it completely." Orco nodded quickly. "Yes, sir, of course," he replied, though his eyes still followed the machine with excitement. Man-at-Arms warned him again, slower this time, making sure every word landed. He explained that even small mistakes could lead to disasters. Eternia had survived many threats, but curiosity without control had destroyed kingdoms in the past. When he finished, he locked the cabinet containing the most dangerous supplies and left the workshop. For a moment, Orco remained still. The room felt quiet, almost too quiet. He told himself that he understood the warning. He told himself he would behave, but temptation whispered louder than reason. He floated back toward the shelves, his hands shaking with excitement rather than fear. "I just want to make one small improvement," Orco muttered. "One little test." Meanwhile, Adam walked through the palace halls toward the workshop, unaware of what was happening inside. Cringer followed closely, stepping carefully as if the floor itself might attack him. Adam was thinking about his duties, about the balance between his normal life and the responsibility he carried in secret. He did not sense danger yet, but destiny was already moving. Inside the workshop, Orco opened a container marked only with faded symbols. He did not know what they meant. He only knew the powder inside shimmered with strange colors. He added a small amount to the capture beam, then another, believing magic could solve any problem. He began to speak a spell, confident this time it would work. The machine suddenly vibrated, lights flashed, the air felt heavier as if the room itself was holding its breath. Orco stepped back, surprised but still excited. He reached out, trying to stop the device, but it was too late. Energy surged through the beam, uncontrolled and unstable. At that exact moment, Adam entered the doorway. "Orco, what are you doing?" he asked. The machine fired without warning. A burst of strange energy shot across the room, missing Adam by inches and striking the far wall. Cringer screamed and jumped behind Adam, shaking harder than ever. The workshop filled with smoke, sparks, and a low, dangerous hum. Adam moved fast, shutting down the power and pulling Orco away from the device. When the noise finally stopped, the room fell silent. Nothing was destroyed, no one was hurt, but something felt wrong. Very wrong. The air carried a strange tension, like a storm waiting to break. Man-at-Arms returned moments later, his face dark with concern. He looked at Orco, then at Adam, then at the damaged machine. He did not shout. His disappointment was far more powerful than anger. "This is how disasters begin," he said quietly. "Not with evil intentions, but with ignored warnings." Orco lowered his head, finally understanding the seriousness of his mistake. Adam placed a hand on Cringer, calming him, though his own thoughts were uneasy. Somewhere beyond the palace walls, something ancient had felt the disturbance. Something that had been sleeping for centuries had just been disturbed. And without realizing it, they had taken the first step toward awakening a danger that would change everything. Man-at-Arms stood quietly in the workshop, his arms folded, his expression thoughtful. Orco's mistake had reminded him of something important, something from long ago. He turned to Adam, his voice slower now, carrying the weight of memory. "This isn't the first time curiosity has caused trouble," he said, "and it's not the first time Cringer's story has mattered." Adam looked down at his trembling companion. Cringer avoided eye contact, his tail curled tightly around his legs. Adam had always known Cringer was afraid, but he had never truly thought about how it all began. Man-at-Arms gestured for Adam to listen carefully, then began to speak. Years earlier, before Adam carried the full burden of destiny, he had traveled alone into the hills of Eternia. It was meant to be a simple journey, a chance to explore the wild lands and learn survival skills. Man-at-Arms had given him a new invention to test, a device designed to imitate the calls of animals. Adam had been excited, proud to help, and eager to prove himself. The hills were quiet that morning, covered in tall grass and ancient trees. Adam moved carefully, observing his surroundings, recording animal movements and testing the device. It worked perfectly, calling creatures from far away without disturbing the natural balance. Adam smiled, feeling confident and capable. Suddenly the calm was broken. A deep growl echoed through the trees. Adam froze. From the shadows emerged a full-grown saber cat, its eyes sharp and hungry. Adam knew the danger immediately. He remembered what Man-at-Arms had taught him. A saber cat feared only one creature in those lands, the mighty manticore. Adam adjusted the device and activated the call. The sound filled the air. The saber cat stopped, hesitated, then fled into the forest. Adam exhaled in relief, grateful for preparation and knowledge. But as he turned to leave, he heard something else. A weak sound, a cry. Following the noise, Adam discovered a small shape hidden among the rocks. It was a young saber cat, badly injured and alone. Its fur was matted with dirt, its breathing shallow. Adam knelt slowly, speaking softly, careful not to frighten it further. The young creature tried to stand but collapsed again, trembling. Adam's heart tight. He understood immediately. The mother was gone. The cub had been left behind, wounded and helpless in a world full of danger. Adam knew he could not leave it there. Without hesitation, he removed his cloak and gently wrapped the cub inside. The journey back was slow and careful. Adam avoided predators, protected the cub from the cold, and spoke to it the entire way as if words alone could give it strength. When he finally reached the palace, he went straight to Man-at-Arms. The injury was serious. Man-at-Arms worked for hours, using his skills and tools to treat the wounds. Adam stayed close, refusing to leave. He watched every movement, every adjustment, silently hoping the small creature would survive. Days passed, then weeks. Slowly, the cub began to recover. Its strength returned bit by bit, but something else remained. Fear. Loud sounds made it flinch. Sudden movements sent it running for cover. It followed Adam everywhere, hiding behind him whenever possible. Despite its size and species, courage did not come naturally to it. Adam did not mind. He cared for the cub patiently, never forcing it to be something it was not. When others laughed or teased, Adam defended it. One day, after watching the creature jump at its own reflection, Adam smiled and gave it a name. Cringer, he said gently. The name stayed. As time passed, Adam grew older and so did Cringer. The cub became a full-sized tiger, strong and fast, yet still afraid of almost everything. He refused to leave Adam's side. Wherever Adam went, Cringer followed, like a shadow that never disappeared. One evening, as Adam walked with Cringer near the palace gardens, a familiar presence appeared. The sorceress emerged quietly, her expression calm and knowing. Cringer immediately began to shake, pressing against Adam's leg. "Do not be impatient with him," the sorceress said softly. "He is more than he appears." Adam frowned, embarrassed. "He's afraid of everything," he replied. "I don't see how that could ever change." The sorceress smiled. "You see only the present," she said. "The future has not yet revealed itself." Her words stayed with Adam long after she left. Years went by. Adam discovered his true destiny. He learned the secret of Castle Grayskull. He became He-Man when Eternia needed him most. Through all of it, Cringer remained the same, loyal, fearful, always close. When Adam transformed, he made sure Cringer was not around. He believed Cringer would never understand, never accept the danger. He thought protecting Cringer meant keeping him away from the truth. Man-at-Arms finished his story and looked at Adam. "Cringer's fear is not weakness," he said. "It is the result of pain, loss, and survival." Adam finally understood. Cringer was not broken. He was shaped by his past, just like Adam himself. Somewhere deep within Cringer slept a strength waiting for the right moment to awaken. And when that moment came, the bond formed long ago in the hills of Eternia would change both their lives forever. The jungle of Eternia was alive with sound as the expedition moved forward. Birds cried from the trees, insects buzzed through the thick air, and strange shadows danced beneath the towering leaves. Prince Adam walked beside Man-at-Arms, listening carefully as the lead scouts reported their findings. Something unusual had been discovered, something old enough to challenge everything Eternia believed about its past. At the center of the jungle stood several massive stone structures, half covered in vines and moss. Time had worn them down, but their presence felt heavy, as if the land itself remembered their purpose. Man-at-Arms examined the ruins closely, his expression serious. "Our readings suggest these buildings are more than 1,000 centuries old," he explained. "If that's true, they could be linked to Eternia's earliest history." Adam felt a chill run through him. Places this old rarely existed without reason. Cringer, who had followed Adam despite every attempt to leave him behind, crouched low and whimpered softly. He sensed something wrong long before anyone else did. As night approached, the jungle changed. The familiar sounds faded, replaced by an unnatural silence near the largest structure. No animals, no insects, nothing moved around it. Only the wind brushed against the stone walls. Man-at-Arms noticed it immediately. "Life avoids this place," he said quietly. "That alone is a warning." Torches were lit, casting flickering shadows across the ancient surface. Strange symbols were carved into the walls, unlike anything Adam had seen before. Man-at-Arms copied them carefully, planning to compare them with his research later. Adam traced one symbol with his fingers, uneasy. "These markings," Adam said, "they don't feel like history, they feel like a warning." The end.